Maybe you're just boring. Comment below and let me know if you've ever felt like you're a boring streamer. But honestly, maybe the problem isn't you. Maybe you just need to make a couple of small changes in order to keep your viewers in your stream for longer. Listen, I've been there. I know exactly what is happening for y'all. Some of you have turned your viewer count off, and so you think that you don't pay attention to this number, but later on you go into your channel analytics and you see how many viewers were in your stream at different points of the stream. And some of you have your viewer count turned on and you are so busy paying attention to the number as it goes up and down that you're not as focused on your stream and your community as you could be. And when that number ticks down, you think, what is wrong with me? What did I do? Do they just hate me? Maybe if I was sexier, funnier, more attractive, more interesting, then they would stick around. And a lot of small streamers don't know any better, and so they chalk this up to how entertaining you are. Like all of a sudden, if you are a Tim the Tatman god, that means that your viewership count will never go down again. Instead of realizing that it's very natural for that number to fluctuate. Y'all, I have been on Twitch for 7 years. 7 freaking years. 3 years of that, I have been coaching streamers. And I can promise you, it is not necessarily about how entertaining you are, okay? I talk more about my journey in my ebook. Definitely check that out because you will learn the things that I learned that it takes in order to grow a stream. However, it would be super misleading of me to say that the things that you do during your stream have no impact on how long your viewers stay. Like, obviously you can't just sit around and expect people to watch you. You have to give them something interesting to watch, right? So how do you get someone to even stick around? Well, I've done a podcast episode. This is actually my #1 podcast episode about how to be more entertaining during your streams. But there's something that I've learned since then that I didn't talk about at all in that episode that I want to go through with you here. Y'all know how much I love my funnels. I was really trying to find a way to turn this system into a funnel, and it didn't work. And I'm not mad at all. So the system has 3 parts: engagement, value, and notoriety. For a little while there, I was like, maybe this is like a Venn diagram and a perfect streamer has equal parts engagement, value, and notoriety. But there are plenty of streamers who barely give any value during their streams, but instead they rely heavily on how notorious they are and their ability to engage, and that's where they pull a lot of their success from. So these aren't really a Venn diagram, they're more like character stats. Different streamers have different levels of each character stat. So someone might rank really high in notoriety but have really low value and engagement, and they can still be successful. And someone who has really low notoriety, maybe if they have really great value and really great engagement, then they can be successful. So every streamer is a different combination of these 3 stats. So let's jump into each of these individually so y'all can see what I mean. Engagement is all about what you are doing during your streams in order to drive people to follow you or to respond in your chat or to subscribe to your channel. Engagement is really important because it helps your viewers feel more connected to you. It feels like they have some level of control or influence in your space, which means that they are way more likely to feel like they have a relationship with you that's going to keep them coming back to check in on you and what you're doing. There are some very small streamers who are incredibly financially successful even though they don't have a ton of viewership, and it's because their community is so crazy for them. Even though they're smaller, they're providing a niche experience that viewers can't get if they go and watch Tim the Tatman being dumb. As I said, it's actually very easy to drive more engagement to your streams. I've created an Instagram post that's going to help you out with a few strategies that you can use. What I want you to do is I want you to start asking your viewers more questions. If you have a relatively slow chat and low engagement, asking your viewers more questions is going to prompt a response out of them, and it's instantly going to make you a more engaging streamer because you are asking for interaction from them. The thing is though, y'all, engagement evolves, and not a lot of people talk about this. It is very easy to be super engaging whenever you are a small streamer, and it's easy for you to keep up with everything that's happening in your chat. But once too much chat starts to happen and it's moving very quickly, you have to detach yourself from being the person that is supposed to respond to every single message message, and you have to rely on your community to engage with each other instead of just with you. And so something that's really important as you start to grow and you're seeing your engagement evolve in this way is that you are prompting people to interact with each other, and you create that sense of community instead of just making people rely on you for it. If someone in your chat is like, oh hey, I'm an artist and I really like your channel art, who did that? You can say, thanks so much, this is the person that did it. Hey, are there any other artists around? Y'all should talk. Y'all should meet and be friends, because what this is going to do is you are being positioned as the icebreaker for the rest of your community, and that's going to help them get to know each other a lot faster and know who their point people are in your community, so that not everyone has to rely on you as the person to go to for social interaction. They get to know each other because you facilitate those connections. The next character stat for streamers is value. So there's a really good anagram for this, which is WIFM. WIIFM is what's in it for me. What are you giving to the viewers who are watching your stream? This can go very deep, which is why I made a masterclass training all about how to give more value in your Twitch streams. Go and watch that one if you haven't already. So it's really important that your streams are valuable, because what you do is you give something to the people who are watching you instead of just relying on them caring about you as a person. Whenever you're a smaller streamer, they don't really know you yet. They're not super well connected to you yet, and you haven't built this massive portfolio of work for them to view as someone who is very notorious, right? Which is the next character stat. So you don't have that, more than likely. So you really have to rely on helping people as much as you possibly can. Now, I know some of you are going to be like, well, I'm not an educator, I'm just an entertainer, I'm trying to play my games and make people laugh. And that's totally fine. Then your value add is laughter. You are helping people transform this boredom that they have in their daily lives into excitement, laughter, laughing at you because you're bad at games. This is actually a massive part of what we do inside of Stream Coach Academy, is we help smaller streamers understand how to make their streams more valuable and how to make more valuable content, because it's such an important part of your journey whenever you're a smaller creator. You really have to give a little bit extra than someone like Ninja would. Like, you have to be a better use of someone's time versus someone who has notoriety. But the good news is that once you are a little bit more notorious, you don't have to rely so much on value. And so you're able to calm down the extra effort that you put into your streams to make them super valuable once you have more traction and the social proof of having hundreds or thousands of viewers. Which brings me to notoriety, which is, how famous are you? Ninja, Tim the Tatman, Dr. Lupo, Harris Heller, they can all go live and have thousands of viewers and not have to engage a ton and not have to be super highly valuable during their streams, because they've built up so much notoriety. What's really great about notoriety is that your streams don't need a ton of effort put into them. You can really just go live and do your thing. But what's bad about notoriety is that small streamers think that they can do the same things as the large streamers do and get away with it. And it just isn't true. When you're a small streamer, y'all, you have to convince people to show up. You have to tell them why your stream is going to be more useful than someone else's. And that's a really important question to have answered. But being more engaging and giving more value during your streams can actually build your notoriety to the point where you have those hundreds or thousands of viewers that you want, and then you don't have to focus as much on the other things that were super difficult and took a lot of time, like channel reviews. Flashbacks. But becoming notorious like this, honestly, it isn't super easy. It's typically a very long journey where you have to keep at it over time and stay very consistent with a highly valuable portfolio of work on other platforms typically. And so the way that this works now is people normally give the advice of start a YouTube channel. However, there are a lot of ways that you can become notorious or become more known within the streaming industry. It isn't just about growing a big YouTube channel or exploding on a discoverable platform. There are some smaller elements to this that work really well for you as well. One of those is sharing more about your story. So a lot of y'all know that I started on Twitch in like 2012, 2013. I was really bad at it. I streamed to 20 people for 4 years. I stopped. I started making YouTube videos for streamers in 2017, and then I built momentum on YouTube and brought that over to Twitch and got partnered within like 2 months of streaming again. That story alone, just just having that experience and relaying it to y'all over and over helps people understand what I've gone through and why I could actually be helpful to them. It's because I've been where you were and I also know how to get out of it. And my audience really relates to my story because y'all are all typically small streamers who want that same results. You want the work that you've been putting in to matter at some point. Now, this is my true honest story. I really went through all of this, but a book that really helped me refine that story is called Story Brand. I highly recommend you check that out. There's a link to my reading list on Kit down below. See, y'all, there is a reason we teach our SCA students how to craft their brand narrative because it is so important. So when we look at and understand engagement, value, and notoriety, now we start to see all of the different types of streamers exist within a spectrum of these 3 different character stats. For example, a small community-oriented streamer who talks to their chat a lot, talks in their Discord a lot, and is super engaged with their community probably has very high engagement stat, but relatively low value and even lower notoriety because they are small. A small streamer who gives a ton of value through education or entertainment might have low engagement because they just aren't responding to their chat a ton, or maybe they don't have time to look at their chat a lot. And they're also small, so again, they don't have that notoriety. And then there are also streamers who have a ton of notoriety that don't have to engage with their chat very much, that don't have to get a ton of value in their streams, can just go live and play video games, and they can be really successful doing that as well because they are known. Every streamer has a mix of these. What's yours? How are you going to improve it? Comment below and let me know, and go check out this video because it's going to help you figure that out. Bye!